John, you were saying something earlier to us off camera that there was actually something that kind of hit home, close to home too, and that
Yeah,
kind of
this is more. Yeah, I've told you guys a little bit. Have I told you guys, any of you guys, like the full story?
No, I
no.
thought
Probably
it was a
not.
different one, but it's a totally new one to me.
Yeah, this was before I even worked in the jail, or it's kind of how I got into the jail. But I went to nursing school back in 2011, so it's been about 10 years now, 10, 11 years. But it was an accelerated nursing program, so it was 1 year long. But in the middle of that program, one of our nurses went missing from her clinical rotation. So we were in the middle of our maternity rotation. So like within the shift, like she had gone away to get something from her car, and then she never came back. So then
What?
they
Dang.
started. I
Who
did.
noticed
People
it?
started. I
Like
think
who
the clinical
noticed that she
instructor
went
right
missing?
away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like the people, like her little clinical group, like the teacher and then a few of the students, kind of knew right away, like, oh, how come she didn't come back? So I think they tried to like call her cell phone. They went to where they thought that she had gone, but basically, like she just went missing like, all of a sudden. Um,
What?
so then it took a while to figure out what was going on, but eventually, like we found out that she had been murdered by somebody that she had known. Um, and then the big part of that story was that the person that had murdered her was a pregnant female. So she was pregnant when she had committed the crime, and then the professor who was during that clinical rotation was a maternity professor. So the thing that we asked her was once they had caught the person, we asked our professor like if she was assigned to this person's care, like would she still give care if like this murderer was her patient? And then the answer that she had given was kind of what got me into jail nursing, but also helped me to do the job without like passing my judgment to any of the guys or gals like based on what they do. Basically, she said that yeah, like of course, like we would still give this person care. We don't have to like the person, but they still deserve care just like anybody else. So that's a little thing that she had mentioned about that. I took that and I kind of started thinking about jail nursing and I thought that that was a great mindset to have, not just for jail, like it helps a lot in that, but just anywhere else that you work. But that's what happened during my nursing school.
Dude, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
That's
So it
awesome.
brings up so anytime like
Crazy
there's a
story.
story of somebody missing, like right now, you guys know JV, like that radio host.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, so like as the timeline, so when there's a missing persons case, they always say that the first 72 hours is really critical. So as that story started playing out as time went on, um, like the chance of them coming being found alive is unfortunately it gets less and less as time goes on, like past the 72-hour mark. So they told us that like with my classmates' situation, they kind of explained to us like how it works with missing person cases. But of course, like you still keep hope like that things work out right. But whenever there's a missing persons case that comes up in the news, I always think back to like the story of my classmate.
Dang,
That is crazy.
that's deep, dude.
Yeah, so that was the craziest thing that happened in our year, and I think it was even crazier because the our nursing program was only a year long, so it happened right in the middle of it, and we didn't know how it was going to end until about 4 months later. So we were still in school when all this stuff was playing out.
man. That must
But
have
it's
been
just crazy that
awful.
yeah, it's just crazy that it happened like in the middle of like doing your rotation. Like you're just going to people like nursing students do this all the time. They just go to their car, get something during their break. So it happened in like a very common situation that people do all the time.
That's crazy. That's
Yeah, so they
crazy.
did a special on her story too. Like I don't really bring it up too much, but I think it's good to bring up just to keep her memory alive.
Hmm.
But they've done specials on her story. Like Dateline did a big one that kind of talks through the whole situation, and then but when I watched that, there were a lot of things that we didn't even know about when the events were unfolding until I had saw that Dateline special. So yeah, and then when I was like googling like her name on YouTube, like a lot of podcasts and stuff have actually chimed in on her story too. So in a way, like I'm glad that the story is still out there. But of course, like very sad about what happened.
Did you
Yeah,
know
but
her personally?
like I wasn't close to her, but our class wasn't very big. It was like 40, 50 people.
Uh,
Yeah, but like my peers were definitely a lot of the people that I was close with was close with her. So it wasn't a big group. So
were you
yeah, it's
at
pretty
that
crazy.
like clinical rotation?
No, I wasn't. I was on a different site, but like a
Uh,
lot of people that were with her, like I hung out with them and stuff. So
dang. Yeah, that
yeah,
definitely hits close to home.
yeah, but that really helped me. Like what my professor said was the big one, and that helped me get into jail nursing in a way where I would do the job. Like I think um, a big reason why people don't do jail nursing is for that reason. Like, oh, why would you want to help like a murderer, or how can you do that job without like passing judgment onto what they did?
Mhm.
So that part really helped me into getting into into this jail specialty, and then being able to do it well. So I think for like the 10 years that I was there, I felt like I did it well enough where I never like judged anybody for what they did. I was just trying to help them as much as I could when I was while they're in jail.